哇，这条线。哇，高粱。因为什么好？
Disagreement.
Yes.
恭祝大家新年快乐，恭喜发财！
What is it? Just organization, stability, efficient, effective, corruption-free government and administration. Everything works, whether it's water, electricity, gas, telephones, telexes. It just has to work. If it doesn't work, I want to know why. And if I'm not satisfied, as I often was not, the chief goes. And I have to find another chief. Firing a chief is very simple.
Singapore's on a broken track. Let's change it. Firing a chief is very simple. Well, welcome to everyone. Today is a Chinese New Year, the second day of Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
I have with me Derek Siu, right? And Jonathan So. We will 拜个早年啊，新年快乐，恭喜发财，可以换了啊。Okay. We will be starting a new series in the new year. This coming year in the run up to this election, right, Derek?
Yeah.
I think, Derek, you have seen before. Right? This is Jonathan So.
Yeah.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi.
Okay. Now, they will be our potential candidates. Not confirmed yet. Nothing confirmed. Just potential candidates in the coming election. In this coming round of series of a live chat, I will try to introduce more potential candidates in the coming election for our party in the coming election. And with us, besides three of us, there's another one, right? Because we are all very big size. There's actually our host, right? What's your name? Yeah, our host here, right? Marcus lah. We just call him Marcus, the M-man. Right? He will be asking some of the questions towards our own candidates here. But at the same time, for this session, I would appreciate if the viewers can actually ask the questions, right? And Marcus will actually translate your question to either Derek or Jonathan, right? Now, to start off with today's views, we will start with Derek first. Derek is actually our chairman of People's Power Party, right? He will actually want to have a myth buster, right? This is the one. Okay, Derek. So, all yours.
So we start off by having this first question is, we often hear we have no natural resource. That's why our things are very expensive. What do you think?
Yeah.
Marcus?
Marcus.
And I actually throw to the audience.
Yeah.
Audience?
Okay, so from my point of view,
Is it correct or not? We have no natural resource.
the government has always told us that we have no natural resource in the sense that we have no coal, oil, no gas. So I think Derek has a different view from that. So maybe you can expand on it.
Okay, so I think most people buy into the belief that has been propagated during our schooling days that we have no natural resource, we have nothing. But actually, we have something. If you think about it, number one is we have our position in the world. We have a very good geographical position, which makes us a very important trading port. Second, not only our position is very good, we also have natural deep sea port. Not every port are actually deep sea port. So actually, these two factors is our natural resource. So it's not true that we don't have natural resource. It's true that we don't have like mines, all this, like coal mine, gold mine, silver mine, whatever. But this port, our geographical position, is our natural resources. And it is also a myth that if we have a lot of resources, right, then we will be very rich. I give you an example for all of you who are listening. Do you know the Congo, which is in Africa, Democratic Republic of Congo? This country has a lot of resources. And right now, because I'm reading up on EV. EV is the new switch towards the electric vehicle. So I realized that a lot of cobalt is actually mined from Congo. So Congo actually has many other resources, not only cobalt, aluminium, precious metal, diamonds, whatever you have. But why is it that, Marcus, ask you, why is it that Congo is still so poor?
Right. Yes, it's because of their lack of good governance.
Yes, correct. So if you have good resources, you must have good governance. In our earlier days, right, Lee Kuan Yew actually had very good governance. But these days, right, I think our governance can be improved. There's room for improvement. What do you say, Ying Seng?
Oh, governance.
Governance.
Actually,
Governance is not about
when I actually put up on my Facebook, then the PAPID actually came. Wow, our index of good governance are very good. So how are you going to get? Can it be better? The question is actually, can it be better?
Yes.
Right?
During my last live chat with you,
Yeah.
I talked about thought process, means thinking process, our thinking process. So the key thing is not that we are very good, but can we be better? And governance is a big issue. A lot of people, when we do a walkabout, a lot of people did not rank governance as one of the very top concern. So they rank like cost of living, inflation, and housing. But all these things, right, actually stem down to the root cause is governance. Yeah. So that's why I'm talking about governance.
Okay. So, which aspect of governance do you think that KP is not doing well,
Okay, let's talk
or say can improve?
let's talk about the next one. Then you'll know.
Okay.
We
Okay.
talk about inflation.
All right.
Inflation, which is the second question. So I want to ask all of you who are listening, inflation is a global phenomenon. And then recently, our Prime Minister said that opposition is exploiting public sentiments against PAP due to this global inflation. Is it correct? Marcus, what do you think?
Well, I think I'm more of a middle ground approach. I think that as someone who has traveled, I think we can observe worldwide that the cost of living has gone up worldwide. But I think maybe you have different thoughts about it.
Worldwide.
Actually, I agree that global inflation is real. But at the same time, right, during this global inflation, our government policy play a part. And this part is on the governance. During global inflation, we still actually increase 2% GST. And what is the justification behind the increment?
Bolui ma.
It's not bullying.
Actually, we have a lot of reserve. When we go down, people ask, we have so much reserve, how come still need to increase GST?
Yeah, I mean that's
Ah.
the problem. I mean you've got so many reserves, then you're still increasing GST. So that's the issue.
But our reserve is something you can see, right? You can watch, but you cannot touch. Just like a beautiful girl in front. You can see, you can watch, but you cannot touch. Just like a CPF also, right? So, but having said that, the root cause, I think, is actually overspending. I always tell people that why need to increase tax if you can control spending? At least by right, our system is so rich, people are earning enough. When you tax people, you should have enough money to actually sustain your governance, at least infrastructure and all that. But what they want to do is actually to create something more than we can consume. Like, for example, you stay in the east, right?
Yeah, I stay in my grade.
You have a super, your Thompson East Coast side.
Yeah.
But the problem is, Thompson East Coast side is not making money. It's definitely going to lose money for the next 10 to 20 years before they actually create enough population down there. But we already spent what, 20,
Yeah.
the thing costs almost 30 billion.
Oh, 30 billion. Oh, okay.
You know why? Each station costs $500 million.
Oh, that's like overspending, man.
Yeah, more than $500 million. And that's why they need to increase GST. And the Terminal 5, right? When Colburn Wang was talking about it back in 2014, they were saying, oh, we are going to build Terminal 5. It's probably going to be $5 billion, but we do not exactly know how much it is. Why government spending to plan something for it, and you don't even have a budget for it? And now, recently, they came out with Terminal 5 because they are going to restart the whole thing. It says it's going to cost $10 billion. That's 100% increase. And now you know why your tax will have to go up. Even the airport tax have to go up when you travel.
So airport tax will be going up every year. From last year, actually end of last year it went up. This year it's going to go up again. So next year, I think it's 4 consecutive rise or 5. You can check it on the Google. Yeah. So by answering the second question, right, and just now we brought about governance and Congo and resources mining, right. That's why I say governance is very important. Without good governance, right, even if you have lots of resource, you'll be worse off actually. Yeah. So the governance part is the part that we have to address. And good governance is one of our key point in our election campaign.
Yeah. Okay. So what's the next one?
The next one is PAP can ensure economic growth and long-term stability. And actually the third and the fourth is almost similar. The fourth one we will do together. Is a single party ensures stability and long-term planning. What do you think, Marcus?
Okay, I think when you ask if the PAP can ensure economic growth and long-term stability, I think it might mean that whether their system of governance and their system of selecting leaders, in comparison with the past, like FOI system, does it ensure that we have the right leaders for economic growth and long-term stability? And then for the fourth one, you are asking whether a single party can continue. So maybe you can address those points separately.
Okay, so I'll address. I see. Is there any comment on this question, anyone?
He said, my question is, are there other countries employing gerrymandering? I think this is more towards the election. Later.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Right?
Okay, look around us. Okay, if we talk about long-term stability, right, and good planning, PAP has been in power since 1959. So until now, it's close to 66 years. 1959 until now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
correct.
So, but what happened to our hospital crunch, hospital bed? It is actually way below OECD countries. So this is not good governance, I would say. This is also not taking in consideration long-term planning. And all this just show that the governance are going downhill. I just bring up one point, which is our medical, which is hospitalization and hospital bed crunch.
It's actually not about that. They do plan ahead, right? They are going to build nuclear plant for power. Wow.
Really, it's not really a good idea.
But it depends on technology. It is 100% safe. Anyone can tell me 100% safe. But at this moment, we are not that sure. And they are going to build a desalination plant for the water. East Coast. It's one part of the East Coast plan.
Okay.
They are going to refuel the land. They are going to build less dependency of water from Malaysia. They do plan ahead. However, the question is priorities. Right? Why are you planning for 10 million people in 2065 when you can't even get your hospital bed enough right now, which is actually the essential? Yeah, these are priorities. Right? So you cannot say they don't plan. They plan. It's just that the priorities are not the same.
But can we say that since they are in power for so long, and right now we have this hospital bed crunch, which is way below OECD country. The last round I appear on your live chat, I say hospital bed is around 2.3 or 2.4 per 1,000 people, which means that 1,000 of us, right, we only share this 2.4 bed.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah. So this is a very severe thing, no? Where most countries is around hovering about 4.
3 to 4.
3 to 4.
Yeah.
In the past, we are around 4. And then since we changed our immigration policies, and then it start to went downhill. Yeah. For countries like Japan, Korea, South Korea, their hospital bed is around 10 per 1,000 because it's an aging population. So this made me think that, yeah, correct, you say that they have this long-term planning, but maybe it's a slipshod planning. Do you agree?
Yeah, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a slipshod. I think when you have to increase GST and you have to increase the cost of living, I think there's a gap somewhere. So, I mean, yeah.
Okay. I think good governance. I go to the ground. I think some of you might have met me when they talk about cost of living. They say everyone the same. That's what you say.
Yeah,
Global, right?
Global
I always tell
inflation.
them, yes, global inflation is out of our control. Yes, we can manipulate our currency to be stronger to mitigate it, but no government in the world will actually increase GST, increase water bond tax, increase carbon tax, right? All the taxes, on the essentials on the people when you have inflation. I think that is actually bad timing and bad governance. That's why I said something is not right. But come back to the question. Yeah, you talk about no good governance. So how to solve the problem? How to make sure that governance is correct or good? Any idea?
Well, I think basically we need like checks and balances. I mean, of course, we have like 2 opposition parties, so basically we need more to actually do
How
a
much more? Because someone would come to government, how?
preferably about 2/3. But I think, yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. during the coming GE.
Okay. The most people talk about is 1/3.
Mm.
Right? Yeah.
So do you agree that only PAP can ensure economic growth? Any of us not in PAP cannot.
I have a question to pop in just to add on.
Yeah.
Maybe Ming Seng can talk about this. What I mentioned was the PAP's way of selecting leaders. I think Ming Seng had some thoughts on the scholar system as well. So maybe this is something that he can expand upon.
Okay. Scholar system makes sure that the government select the top brains to run the country, right? But running a country is different from running a company. In running a company is profit maximization. In economics, we basically say that profit maximization. That means what does it mean in governance is get as much surplus that you can. That is actually considered as profit. But in the governance, it is not profit that we are looking at. It is actually the maximizing of the welfare of the people. This is two different concepts. So running a company and running a country is totally different, right? So our scholar system is actually come from the ancient Chinese concept, right? In the olden days of a Western culture, they do not have this concept. They are all the lords, right? Feudal lords, and the lords will decide how to run the place. But in the Chinese ancient history, we have the clergy. We select the best brain to run. However, best brain to run doesn't mean that they are the leaders that can go beyond the visionary of leading countries. Running a country is different from leading the country, right? Because as a leader, you must have a vision. You must have a vision for the country. Where are we going? Just like LKY. Why people like LKY? Actually, it's not LKY. It's actually Goh Keng Swee. He has a vision. He said, we are small LKY. We can be the hub. We can actually be the processing hub for the raw materials, the rubber, the tin from our surrounding countries. So he built the industrial park. Then when they progress, he said we can be the hub of manufacturing for all the MNCs, which are moving out of the Europe, you're moving out of. That is the vision. Small people who are in a civil servant may not have such visionary plan. They are very good at execution, but not visionary. So come back. How do you guarantee within a system that we have good people who have a vision? You need people, unfortunately, to actually brainstorm. Any companies who want to make money will have to have leaders who can brainstorm, right? Who can actually guess what will happen next in the next 10 years, 20 years, right? Then we go to give the direction for those who are on the ground. Those are civil servants who are top planners and good planning. But the problem is now, we have a bunch of PAP elites who think that 10 million people are a good idea. And that is the vision that they are giving us. But they are afraid to take state or science. I don't want to confirm that. But when we do the back end calculation, it is 10 million by 2065. Now, you have to ask yourself, do you want that to happen? Is that the vision that we share all together? Right? So this is how I look at it. So the process of leaders selection is limited when you come to scholars. That is where the democratic system comes in, where the political leaders who can have a vision for Singapore will be selected differently from the scholar system. But PAP is a mixing up the pool. And that's what we call group thinking. That means 你跳不出那个框框嘛 you are the civil servant who promoted to be the minister. How do you jump out of the rigid thinking of scholars?
It's the inner circle.
Yeah. Right?
Okay. So do you agree with Marcus that he said that the selection process of leaders by maybe PAP system is good, or is there a flaw?
Okay. We don't throw the baby out of the washing water, huh? We still want to maintain the scholar system, but strictly for the civil servants, for people who can plan to execute. Last time PAP used to have a very good system. They have faction, right? Those who are from the law, right, legal sector, the doctors, the professional, right, the business. They have different selection criteria. They have a mix. But now, and last time when you are linking, some people say that linking Simon is very good in building HDB, right? Why? He is a businessman. He is not a scholar or an army general. Because we start to staff our scholars into the army and the high civil service, right? Then we promote them. They cannot perform, right? When it comes to that, so we have to reconsider how do we have a more diverse representative from different group of people. People say, oh, PhD drivers cannot be MP. Why cannot? I ask you. Last time they do have they even have a Chinese teacher representative for the teaching and for the media, right? That's PAP construct. And that is why they are successful in the initial 10, 20 years. But later on, when the scholar system encroach on their leadership, they say, we need scholars. They start to brainwash us. We need scholars. Then you end up of how many generals do we have in the cabinet right now?
A lot. And in our secretary board also.
Yeah. How many of them are actually scholar system? You can hardly find any. And will actually create a group thing. And that is actually their failure eventually.
Okay, so for the last question, right? Okay, it's a bit on the impact of this housing.
Housing.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see your housing.
Just now we talk about good governance and long-term stability, right? I think this is a part where a lot of people are not looking at, and our HDB PAP also not talking about this. Why I'm very urgent and want to talk about this?
Have lah. A lot of ladies care about it, right?
Housing is one thing, I think, because most of us stay in HDB.
Yeah.
And BTO price is right now, although they say affordable lah, but I think it's overconsumption for our people and eating into our retirement, overconsumption. So the other aspect is a lot of flats some are built in the 1970s, 1980s, in another 30 years and 20 to 30 years, right? The lease decay will have a strong impact on the asset. In the past, right, I think maybe 2011, there's this thing called asset enhancement program. So they actually sell this myth, right? Which I say myth, right, that your value will never go down. But right now we are seeing, we are foreseeing, right, there's all this issue. Because one of the big issue you see on the picture, right? Yeah, on the picture, your house, the lease decay, right, is confirmed. Every year, while the lease start to decay, 1 year pass, right? The passing of years, right, your lease actually go back to where? Do you know? Go back to the country. The country take back your lease. So from 99 to 70, the country start taking back. So while the price keep increasing, it cannot keep increasing. The resale market cannot keep increasing because your lease get lower and lower and your price gets smaller and smaller. Well, there's a lease buyback scheme, right? But one of the issue is the lease buyback scheme also dependent on market price, market forces. So if the market force is not so strong, right, and the surrounding area and last transaction price of your property is not so high, then whatever you get back is lesser. So that's a big issue. And no one is talking about we are kicking down the cans, or we are avoiding this issue. And this is to me, right, is again about governance.
You are still willing to pay $1 million for HDB resale, right?
Actually, there's there's very strong irrationality right now in the resale market for HDB. Recently, there's this 1.6 million in Toa Payoh. Yeah, for 13 years old flat. So 1.6 million, who is buying all this? Who are throwing, like, maybe you say 20% down payment, that's 320,000 cash, cash plus CPF. So who are throwing all this money? So, And the other thing is, are these people buying, are they PR or are they new citizen that they do not understand our system yet? So they are willing to throw the money. Because the honeymoon period, when they come in, they become citizen or they become PR, they are so happy. So they will throw in money. They don't understand the system yet. But we are native Singaporeans. We stay here for 40 over years. We know how the system works.
Okay.
Yeah. So to me, this is a governance issue, and our Minister for National Development is not answering and not focusing on this part.
Okay.
To me, this governance issue, and why governance is important. Marcus say people are Marcus. I reflect your thinking. You say that people are concerned about cost of living and housing prices. Not everyone are concerned about housing price. Those with housing, they are least concerned about it. Cost of living and housing price are all the root cause is governance. Bad governance, good governance. And governance comes from accountability. We have to hold the government accountable.
Yeah.
That's the key thing to good governance.
Okay. So you're saying basically saying that it's a government fault that HDB went up.
No.
And that's what I said.
I say the least indicating no one is addressing.
Oh,
Least
that one.
indicate.
Okay, Lawrence Wong, to give credit, Lawrence Wong was the first one in PAP to admit that your HDB will be zero lah, when the list becomes zero. Right? Lah? So at least he's very candid about it.
Yes.
Only once. Okay. Right? So
Wait, I think he did mention that not all HDB will go to SIRS, right?
Yes.
I think he also said
Yes,
that.
you also say
Yeah.
only
Yes.
0 point something percent will go to SIRS. But I think a lot of Singaporeans cannot believe and cannot take it. No? When I tell people and show them, they say impossible one. Government will sure go for SIRS.
Wait, I don't gonna off ma. I think it's 4%. I think it's 4%.
Some percentage lah.
4%.
But it's a very small percentage. Very small percentage.
So have you bought your HDB?
No.
No.
Yeah. I think it's too expensive and it's overpriced.
Overpriced.
And they are like trying to front load. I mean, why do you have the grant? I mean, you can just reduce the price together by reducing the land cost and also the building cost. Yeah.
You say expensive, you can buy PAP standard. But you can buy somewhere in Tengah or in East, in Sembawang cheaper.
I mean, the salaries are not like going up with the HDB prices.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, so I think basically, I think the cost of property is too high and that the opposition needs to be voted into parliament to provide checks and balances for the PAP.
But do you think that PAP can actually reduce the price?
Yeah, definitely they can. I mean, they're in power and of course they can reduce it. But I mean, whether they listen to the citizens, I think it's that's the question, whether they listen to the people and the residents and the constituents. Yeah.
Okay, fact check. I'm on Straits Times. So the official number is announced as 4%.
Okay.
4%.
It's a small percentage lah.
Yeah.
Like I say, it's a very small one. Not even 10%.
But I want you have to go through now. And visionary leaders always think ahead.
Yeah.
Right? So imagine you say 4%. So most of the older HDB is now about 40 years old.
Yeah.
Or 50. Some
50.
like Tiong Bahru is 50.
Yeah.
Right? Ang Mo Kio is about 40 plus. Right? And now imagine. When you start, they did all this within 20 years. Ang Mo Kio, Toa Payoh, and all that. Within 20 years, they built so many flats. So in the next 20 years, right, if they do nothing, they only have 4% SIRS, right, what will happen? When you reach 70 years, you just calculate 70 years, what will happen? The price will drop, right? Naturally, it will drop.
And they release decay.
Yeah. Then if they still do nothing, they allow these flats going to expire 99 years. What will happen? A lot of people will be forced out of their house because lease done.
Yeah.
How many households is affected? There will be roughly about 50,000 to 100,000 households be affected. One-off. How are you going to build enough flats to rehouse all these people, which you took 20 years to build this town? If we do not start doing anything to rebuild and to replenish or regenerate, renew your flats, you are going to have a crash.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, our building capacity every year is about 25,000.
Yeah, building more is not a solution. I think
Huh?
we have to renew the lease because I think
Renew the lease. Okay. The problem is this: the older flats when they build, the quality of flats actually are in doubt, right? Because the material used, if you go around flats, old estate, you can see sparring concrete falling down, right? I really have doubts it can last more than 75 years, right? Because your maintenance cost when the building is going to be old, is going to be very expensive. And who pay? Government going to pay. Town council going to pay. No, right?
yeah,
The fee the house owner is going to pay. So, say all this cannot last 39 years, but 75 years. Then what will happen? We will have a problem. The crunch of the construction and everyone will scramble. And we may actually see people have no house, no place to stay. And that's my prediction. If they don't do anything right now, right, we are actually coming to the critical point, tipping point. If they don't start to do very systematic planning of renewal, we are going to face a problem. Not 4% is not enough.
Yeah.
Right?
So this part is on the governance, and we are still getting more people to come in. And the last question is linked to the more people. We always have this narrative, right, which we say that we need more people.
Or not more people. This one.
No, this
Which one? Okay.
the 5 question.
The 5 question. Okay, let me faster. Okay.
Yeah, the last one is
The last
we
one.
need more people. So because no Singaporean want to work, thus we need to import more and more people. What do you think? Is it true that Singaporeans don't work or don't want to work? So if we all don't want to work, actually what we are doing, I also don't know.
This question have to come to
Later Jonathan will talk.
People will talk about it.
But is it true that Singaporeans don't want to work, and that's why we need more and more people? Marcus, how?
I think one of our ministers recently released job numbers. I think Ming Seng will have something to say about that. He claims that he did put out quite impressive numbers, but I think that needs further examination and data analysis. So I think that will be quite related to whatever you just said, that we need more people or that no one wants to work, and that we need to keep importing more and more people. But then again, I do understand that there's projects that, let's be frank, a lot of Singaporeans would not take it up in the traditional sense, like for example in the construction sector. So maybe Meng Seng, you can explain a bit more about how to take a more balanced approach.
Okay, I think you're PMAC.
yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
teammate.
You're also PMAC.
Yeah, professional.
I think more and more Singaporeans want a PMAC job.
Yeah.
So the PMAC job are important, but by education level, right? The PMAC normally for the tertiary graduates, that means from polys and from universities. Of course, those who are not graduated from here can actually upgrade themselves later to become PMAC, right? So what we want are PMAC jobs, right? Not those construction jobs under the sun. There are still people doing it. There are still citizens doing it. I know because I know some of them, but lesser and lesser. So the issue is PMAC jobs are the jobs that we want. However, we are seeing 40 years old, 50 years old people lose their PMAC job and become Grab drivers. They are still employed. Technically speaking, on statistics, you still say they are employed, right? But they are not employed according to what they want or their skill set. This is what I call underemployment, right? Now, so constantly come out with one data, very impressive, 380,000 PMAC jobs created for locals, which is include PRs and Singaporeans, right?
Yeah.
Right. But you're still looking at what?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, there are criticisms and challenges for having like creation of like jobs, or that. I mean, of course, the competition for jobs and also the influx of E-Pass and S-Pass and also lead to limited opportunities and wage suppression.
Okay.
I mean, come on. I mean, if like they're from like say Vietnam or Cambodia or Myanmar, I mean, how much would they ask, and how much a local Singaporean ask?
Yeah. So it's an expectation thing.
Yeah.
The payment, the salary.
Yeah. I mean, of course. Yeah, and of course, it leads to actually over reliance and also social and certain cultural tensions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the trick is this. They claim 380,000 created over 10 years. And the EPs, they only increased by 38,000 over 10 years. But what is the trick? You cannot claim that you create a job for local when you are simply changing the type of a foreign EP pass or S pass holders into PR. Because they're already employed. You just change the type. Then you say you created the job for them, for locals. That is totally bullshit, right? That's actually not the real creation of jobs, right? Why I know this? Because every year we are giving out, on average, their statistics, I think is more, 22,000 PMET jobs, citizenship for the PRs and others, right? Who are they? They're the PMETs. If you want to be a citizen, you think a construction worker, you can get a new citizenship as a foreigner? You can't. You need to be either a PMET to do a certain level, or the spouse, or the children of a Singapore family. Right? So you cannot say that you created jobs for locals. That's not creation. I can tell you actually, Singaporeans do not need so many PMET jobs to be created. Why? Every year, while we have graduates that graduates, we also have Singaporeans who retire PMETs. Right? So those who replace the retired PMETs, you will net it off. Actually, we do not need 40,000 PMET jobs per year. Not even 30,000. Right? We needed much less, because it's just a replacement. It's not a creation. Creation, that means you add on to the jobs. Right? It's just replacement of those who retired. So when you talk about 38,000 PMET jobs created for locals each year, who are filling the jobs? It cannot be Singaporeans, because Singaporeans, every year the birth rate since 1990s is less than 50,000, 40,000 only. Cannot be every Singaporean become a PMET.
So the other question, the starting point of this question is, why do we need more and more people?
Yeah.
And now, like 20 years ago, we have around 4 million. Now we are around 6 million.
Yeah. 6 million.
So how did we actually survive during that time when 4 million? That means you're telling me that at 4 million, we have not enough worker. And then now at 6 million, we still don't have enough worker. You get what I mean? Forever, we don't have enough worker. So
it is not because we don't have enough workers.
I mean, that's the narrative.
Income. It's because, just as I've said before, they overspend. They're spending a lot of money. They need to cover their expenditure, and only by increasing population to work here, they can charge them GST. Whether they pay income tax or not, they still already 9%, 8%, 9% they pay GST, right?
Yeah.
Then they will tax the income tax.
Yep. So it's a narrative I want people to double think, and people think through again and Google why we keep needing more people. How is it possible that with technological advancement, right? In 20 years ago, we have 4 million. We can say we don't have enough people, don't have enough workers, not enough Singaporeans want to work. Now we have 6 million, so we have extra 2 million, and we still have this issue saying that we have not enough people who want to work, and we don't have, despite all the technological advancement. And where's our productivity? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
It means that maybe on if they keep saying, pushing this narrative that we need more people, without more people, we are doomed. You get what I mean?
No. I think besides AI is coming in.
Yes.
Deep shit, what they call it. AI is coming in. So is AI going to affect our job prospect? Right? So if they so, then why are we still banging on more population
Yes.
by pumping in more foreign labor? Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so for the next segment, right, I will open question for all of you to ask. Then later, I think Marcus will ask me a few questions. To do some commercial 广告时间. So we have this thing, this
Yeah,
T-shirt. Can you read this what it's called? Own self.
Also check also.
So there's a cross here, no own self check.
Yeah.
Only I think it's only Singaporean understand. So this is a very good quality cotton, 100% cotton T-shirt. Yeah. So you can do a pay now. You can do a pay now. You can flash the pay now QR code. 你可以看那个二维码来买这件 T-shirt，这件 T-shirt 当我们的大选的那个资金我们需要。
Yeah. We have a 6 designer.
Yeah. 多一件是这个 Power to the People. Yeah,
Power to the people.
Power to the people.
Yeah. So it's an embroidery. They put people's power, which is
People's power.
people's power, which means that your power, your power. Okay.
Your vote, your power.
Yeah. So this is the
Okay.
So what's the promotion now?
Promotion $40.
Is the quality of the material? How's the quality of the material?
It's pure cotton.
Pure cotton, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not so warm when you wear in our humid weather, in humid conditions. So one is $40. It is for our election campaign fund. Election campaign fund.
Yeah. If you want me to sign for you, I can sign. Next time very 值钱 one.
So maybe you can talk a little bit more about what kind of maybe for those people interested in politics, what kind of election campaign fund? What is it used for specifically?
Okay, election campaign fund. Just know someone actually thank both of them to stepping up to join the political campaign. Right? But I can tell you, a lot of people talk a lot of things. They have a lot of ideas. But when it comes to the ground, not many people are willing to come forward. Right? But when there are people who are willing to come forward, I think all of us must actually support that at least, right? For whatever it is worth. They have something that most of people do not have. Do you know what they said? Guts. It's not easy for any people to actually decide to walk into this minefield. I call it a minefield, and it is indeed a minefield. Okay, you can be you must be very, very careful of what you say, what you do, and who are your friends. Okay, and all that stuff, right? And your privacy will be compromised. Most of the people who are really up there do not want to get involved in this because they find that their own privacy will be compromised. Right? Not everyone like Goh Beng Seng right? So when you have people like this, they come forward. It is my job. It is my job to make sure that they have enough funding, enough resources to get the maximum chance to get into parliament. Or else, next time no one want to participate in all this. Politics is always a calling. If you don't have the passion and calling, you will not do it. Everyone will say, 哎呀，闲啦，PAP 谁做都是一样。That's the common thing that we see, we hear from the ground. But nobody understands that good governance cannot be taken for granted. It's correct, I agree with Long Show. But his concept of good governance is one party rule. My concept of good governance is a democracy with multi-party rule. That will come to actually check amongst all of us and to get the best ideas. The context of ideas is very important. Right? And this is something that cannot be taken for granted. But at the same time, not all of us are millionaire. Right? So, in fact, all of us, even me, I've sold one HDB for this campaign. I'm going to sell my assets for this coming campaign as well. Right? And I don't have many assets to sell. Okay, I'm going to sell assets for this campaigning also. Why? The last time, 2001, I sold my HDB because I felt that it is time to make a statement. The HDB asset enhancement, the narrative is actually not workable. I want to make sure that it gets through. And indeed, we have changed the narrative of PAP. They never talk about asset enhancement before anymore. And that's good. But no, it's for me because I spend my money to get the message across. Right? This time around, I'm not only going to send my message, I'm going to get my guys into parliament. That's why I'm going to sell my assets again. Right? Not much, but still, I hope that all of you to support. You may not have the guts or the time to spend or effort to spend at the forefront. At least the least you can do is to fund us. We face a lot of problems on bank account, all check and all that. I do business also for constraint, but it's okay. We have suffered. That's it. For all those who are standing on the sideline, support people are willing to come forward. That's what I ask.
Okay, how do we place an order? Okay, can you flash the t-shirts one last time and then show the PayNow code, and then maybe you can tell them that payment and then
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please. When you make the payment, please put a remark or the t-shirt. Then you clear me your address. I will deliver to you, or I will do a different delivery. I ask people to deliver to you, right? For our campaign. Okay. And I hope not only that, when the election comes, if you are bold enough to do a small little step, come forward to help us as a polling agent, accounting agent. We actually need that. Right?
Okay, so the size. Just now I read the comment. What are the size available? So there's M. M is for ladies. The M is a bit smaller, so
Yeah.
M is okay for ladies.
XL.
L, right?
No, XL.
XL.
XL. Yeah,
Okay.
XL. Then it's XL. Right?
SSL I can wear.
Yeah.
So the size is slightly small,
Yeah.
smaller. And then SSL for bigger.
Yeah. Right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So this is the commercial time.
Okay.
And hope you all support us during this CNY. We need the funding is for logistic purpose, to buy equipment, a lot of things we need the funds for.
Basically,
Yeah.
we are going like the presidential election, right? Harman actually spent the most, $700,000, right, for the presidential campaign, right? Wu Kok Siong didn't put any poster, spent $300,000 on what? On social media advertising. Okay. Now the minimum, like Uncle Lin spent about 80,000, 75,000 to 80,000, right? To put posters and some flyers. So for our case, for the People's Power Party, we aim to contest 15 seats.
Yeah, 15.
Right, 15 seats. And each GRC will cost me about 100,000. So actually I need 300,000.
I have a question. As someone who is a voter, will PPP avoid three-corner fights?
We will try to avoid, but sometimes it's unavoidable. Right? Because we have to, for example, Tampines, right? We are very open. We are coming. Right? So why? Because among all the places that we walk, right, companies have more recognition of me than other places. So that's the best chance for us in Japanese. So if other parties have to come around, then we will talk it up, right? We'll try to avoid.
We try to avoid.
But if really cannot, then we'll see what we can do, okay? Yeah. Some things we can control, we control. Some things we cannot control. Then no choice, right?
Okay, so the t-shirt, how much is it? Is $40 per t-shirt?
Yes.
Yeah, $40 net.
Okay. Now, we go to another more important issue. Actually, is jobs. Young people like them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
What's jobs? So
yeah.
how?
So basically, I will speak about the criticisms and the challenges of the E-Pass and the S-Pass systems. I think basically there's like job displacement concerns and also competition for jobs. And basically in the mid-level and the high-level jobs, and also limited opportunities for locals. So this will actually lead to wage suppression and also a reliance on foreign workers to accept lower wages. So has led to a stagnation pay for mid-scale and high-level skill professionals. So of course, I mean, there's also like abuse and exploitation of the system in terms of like fictitious job openings. And
What do you mean by fictitious job opening?
that means they don't have any intention of hiring locals when they actually just advertise for the job.
Why would they want to do that?
Of course, I mean, it's the cost and of course the lower salaries that they pay to foreign workers. So of course, it also leads to like misrepresentation.
No, is it because of the requirement that needed them to post?
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's on the requirement. I mean, like careers future and also, I mean, maybe certain job portals. So I mean, of course, this company, they falsely declare their qualifications and also it undermines the credibility of the system. So basically, I'm actually
You mean you personally experience it?
not really. I mean, because when they advertise, I mean, you wouldn't know whether it's false or whether it's a real job posting. But I mean, this is one of the points that I want to bring out
Okay.
to the government that this system can actually be exploited. So
Because as far as I know, there is a requirement for any employer who want to employ certain or go for a quota for EP, not quota to apply for AP or SP, they have to put up the job in the job ad first, right?
Yep.
For 2 weeks. Is it 2 weeks?
Job bank.
Job bank.
job banks.
For 2 weeks. You are saying that they're actually putting there for show. Then they have no intention of employing the locals.
Yeah,
So
I mean, this is an example. I mean, I'm not targeting any company, but this is one of the loopholes. Just
okay.
yeah, and also of course it also lead to social and cultural tensions. I think, of course, there's a perceived unequal treatment. I mean, there's a perception that foreign workers are actually given better opportunities and roles, and especially when company comes to hiring foreigners.
Why that happened?
Yeah, what happens? You have to ask the PAP.
No, I mean your experience. Do you feel? Yeah, have you faced that before?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, they are willing to actually accept lower salaries. I mean, like from India or China. I mean, so there's an issue. I mean, in terms of like the cultural and social tensions. So yeah. So
I thought they have a minimum salary for EP and the S pass. 2006 for S pass.
Yeah.
2006.
and EP.
Yeah.
EP, if I'm not wrong, I think depending. EP, no, it's much higher now.
Much higher.
Much higher. I think 12,000.
12,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, basically Singaporeans. Typically, I mean, it's quite difficult to actually get a 12,000 job. So
Which industry are you in?
I'm from IT. Basically, I've been 20 years in IT industry, so I've actually worked on government projects.
Okay.
Yeah, so I also know a bit about government policies. So basically, when I'm in parliament, basically, I like to contribute in terms of the policies, cybersecurity. I mean, of course, you've got the scams on. So we have a lot of ideas and also policy improvement for the government. Yeah, so that's how I like to contribute. And yeah, I think, of course, there's volatility and also public perception and trust. So we need a call to action to actually have strengthen fair hiring practices that locals have a fair shot at employment opportunities. Yep.
Okay, so some fact check here.
Okay.
It's not a fact check, but yes, I think the facts lah. So for EP, I think the qualifying salary it's 5,000. They have increased it to 5,006 as of 1st January 2025. And for actually financial services, it's actually higher. So 5,500, and then they increased it 6,002.
6,002.
And that's 23 years and above. And then
Yeah,
if you're 45, it's 11,008.
11,008.
So
Okay.
Also, it's like
it's maybe Meng Seng can explain, or do you have any ideas why is there still maybe anecdotally you hear from the ground that there's a gap in this policy?
There are many ways of gaming the system, right? There are actually many ways of gaming the system. Those who are in the industry will know that there are people who take cashback. Right? This on paper they are paying, for example, 6,002. But in reality, they will say, okay, you cut this, cut that for certain things, right? Then you actually a rebate system. In fact, there are some employees who are actually caught doing that for the S pass. Big employers, not the small one, right? So, but it's very difficult to catch, right? So sometimes we have to look at how many the main gauge is actually how many Grab drivers we have. Right? Is it increasing? If it's increasing, it actually means something that is not right. People are being displaced, especially when you come to mid-level, 40 years old. You take Grab, they'll say, oh, last time I'm a regional manager. Then I ask, how come you become a Grab driver? They lost a job. Right? When they are restructuring, the HR actually retrench the local first because EP doesn't have quota. That's one thing. EP doesn't have quota. So they are easier to actually being retrenched. And that's the irony because the quality of life of Singapore depends on high pay job as an EP, like those PMAT. Then why could you not have a quota?
Okay, I'd like to add on 2 points. This is something I've read on Reddit and anecdotally, right? We cannot say anything. This is for true or not. But I think there can be some, netizens saying that own self hire own self, right?
Yes.
And what do you have any comments about it? I think the current government has taken a stance that hiring recently they have strengthened the hiring practices and even the workplace bill. But do you think that for the future of Singapore, as maybe taking a more visionary standpoint, do you think that we can have this 100% equality and 100% fair practices, and even enforcing it from a legal standpoint, and hence being able to balance out the native citizen and also like foreign talent?
Okay. First point first, there are people who say this. The HR department should be filled with Singaporeans. That's one way of mitigating problem. Right? Because if your HR department are being infested with foreigners, then Kakinama is very natural one. Any countries, any people, right? You always take care of your own kind. Only Singaporeans don't do that. Yes.
No. I'm taking care of it.
Yeah.
Speak for Singaporean.
Why is this so for Singaporeans? Whether it's Filipino, whether it's Indian, whether it's China, Mainland Chinese, they always take care of their own people first.
Okay, this part what you say is
Right?
true because I know a network of China people. They are China business owners, so they always tend to trade within themselves first, one another first.
Yeah.
Then they ask for Singapore local context. But mainly they are always like taking care of their China network. Yeah.
Yeah. So when Lawrence was talking about unity, he means at one point, is we do not have a very strong bonding among Singaporeans that we take care of our own kind first. Because the government is not doing it. That's why all Singaporeans think that it is not a must. Right? I think that is the fundamental cultural mindset that is not inrooted in our DNA.
So what can be done, and why do you think so? Is it because of cultural dilution in the last 20 years, or what could it be?
Yes, it's a cultural dilution. Yeah, you got it right. It's actually, we are still at a very primitive stage of a nation building. Right? Only countries like China and India, who have a long standing of a civilization, they always think of helping their own kind. They feel proud of their culture. They feel proud of their country. Even no matter how whatever you say about the country, they will still feel proud of their country, right? And they will always take care of their own people.
So moving forward maybe for the next 10, 20 years, is it imperative that we have, I mean, there's always this debate, right? Like people always say don't be xenophobic and everything. Is it in us to like be culturally just to side oneself first lah? Right? So this is a genetic cultural rooted in every single civilization. Or can it be culturally engineered to the point that we can have, really a 100% fairness? So this is a more of a philosophical question that I would like to
In politics, there's no fairness one. Any government, the role of a government is to take care of its own people. Not to be fair to anyone else, but the priority is always our people. Right? So I always urge Singapore, native Singapore, if this time round we anyhow vote, not in unity, unison voting, next time round, when we are very diluted by new citizens, which are 5 years, we have another 5% of a vote shares going to the new citizen. Nobody is going to defend your rights and your jobs. Right? This coming election is actually the tipping point. Because right now, I see about 25% of our vote bank is actually consists of new citizens. And most of them, not all of them, but most of them are going to vote for PAP because they love PAP, because they take care of their interests. At the expense of what? Our friend here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, vote well. I mean, the G is coming. Yeah.
This is nothing to do with xenophobia. If I'm a politician, I'm telling you that you take care of your Singapore interests, will you vote for me? But only in Singapore citizens they think otherwise one. No? It's very strange.
And that's the reason why at the start of this segment, right, today's segment, I talk about the myth buster, the 5 myths to debunk. Because a lot of narrative, right, our government actually push out. It is so successful, no? People just get brainwashed easily. They just think that, oh, we are xenophobic. People who speak up for our own rights, we are xenophobic.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make.
Yeah. Just like when we talk about priorities of governance.
Yes.
Good governance priority. Why didn't the government prioritize healthcare first? The beds. Because we are aging population, right? When we have an aging population, of course, we need more hospital beds. Right? Why didn't they spend more on it instead of going to spend on other things?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make sense to me. If it makes sense to you, just do it, right? I'm talking about very logical things, Good governance always start with our own people. It is nothing about being fair to other countries. So when the he says that should not discriminate against nationality, I was actually scratching my head. Does it mean that any companies there's more than 10 people, for example, they must employ foreigners? You cannot put up a job ad that say only Singaporeans only.
I think the job thing, right? The job issue has a lot of multiple factor affecting. So one of the issue is that there are really certain jobs no one want to do. EP are directly competing with our graduates, our young people, right, for the PMAX sector. Yeah. So this is the part I think is not right lah, because our people want to do PMAX job. And senior management job, Singaporean also can do. But why a lot of Singaporeans are being terminated or dismissed, retrenched?
My view about this is very simple. If we do not give opportunities for our graduates, young graduates, or even our mid-level teammates, the opportunity to have a job, progress in their career, right? Definitely you can find better, faster, cheaper people from other places.
That's to stop. I mean,
Yeah, That's the truth. Because you are competing, you want to keep us competing to the world. There will always be people who have 3 master degree, 4 master degree, PhD degree. How are you going to competing with just a degree from NUS?
Native Singaporeans have to be the priority.
Right? So it's illogical to be so-called fair. There's nothing about fair. Big countries in the world protect their own jobs for their citizens.
Correct. Actually,
Even USA,
you
Trump,
don't go across our neighbor. In Malaysia government, in parliament, they will fight for Singaporean rights. Correct or not? Marcus, what do you think? Or China parliament, they will not fight for Singaporean rights.
And this has been going on in Singapore for 30 years. And you know what?
Go to any other country.
That's why our senior management in all the GLCs and all that, you see a lot of foreigners. So are they going to employ Singaporeans? We must get hold of our people to have the opportunity of a good job to progress into senior management level so that they will take care of our own people. If we are going to undermine that, right, slowly we will be the servant. You know what is a servant? The people, the peasant, will only serve the foreigners who are, they are no doubt our talents because they come from all over the world. We will be serving them as a servant. And you do not have a stand in your country. Right? So it's when I look at PAP, the type of thinking they have, I find unbelievable, but Singaporeans are supporting them. It's only unthinkable to me, really unthinkable. Oh,
Why do you think why do you think despite these shifts in the last maybe 20, 30 years, Singaporeans are still supporting the PAP? Maybe is it because due to I mean those that have made their money from housing, I think a lot of like the older generation made a lot of money from the housing. Do you think that's one of the factors or maybe other factors as well?
Yes, rent-seeking economy. Right, that's number one. Right. Another reason is they are turning us into beggars. Ask yourself, budget statement coming, right?
Yep.
You go to the ground. They ask, what are their expectations of the budget? Oh, got more money or not? That's a beggar mentality. They're turning us into beggars, not turning us to professionals. Right? I hate to say this, but I feel so frustrated because we are not supposed to think of the way. You should be asking, are they going to have a budget to take care of our old, our middle age, and our young? Instead of asking, the first thing is, how much money are they giving us? It's election year. We are turning all of us into beggars. They are not turning us to a first world country. How many first world countries will give you money one? Oh, PAP said, we are the first one who give money. We are very good.
So what?
It's oxymoron, right? Yeah.
So the other thing is that the media that the people consume, I mean the older folks like those born in the earlier years, right? They do not have a lot of social media understanding. So they turn to the mainstream media, and the mainstream media actually are actually biased. I would say biased.
Yeah,
They are
that's
biased towards certain narrative, and they push the same thing. So for the past 20 years, why their support is because most people are short term. I tell you, when trade agreement was signed, right, that was many years ago. The impact when the trade agreement was signed was not felt by anyone. But fast forward another 10 years, 15 years, suddenly people say, hey, how come a lot of jobs are being displaced by foreigner? And that is the impact. Some policy that happen now will not be apparent immediately. But opposition being here, we are telling you that, look, over there, don't just keep looking at the chicken wing. They go and take back your chicken. Look at what are the policy they are signing, what are the trade agreement they are signing. How are they going to impact you? Do you know next year carbon tax is going to increase another 80%? 80%.
Yeah.
Last year to this year is 500%.
5 times. Yeah.
So look forward to what are the policy and what are the taxes they're going to increase. And then you vote carefully.
Vote critically, must.
Do we still have time?
Yeah, I think that's about all.
If not, then we have to call it a day.
Yes. Okay. Any more question? One last question.
Any question?
Any
Like
questions?
regarding
Yeah.
the things that we welcome all the questions, just like
Yeah.
audience enjoy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can. Good.
Yeah.
I hope all of you enjoyed today's live chat. It's a special Chinese New Year tour live chat.
Yeah. More will come. Slowly introduce all our candidates, and they will come back again if needed, right? And I hope more people will join us. I'm not satisfied with 15 candidates actually, right? Because we must know exactly what we are doing.
And know what we want. Yeah.
Of course, on the surface, I will tell people that okay, 钱照拿，票照投啦, but don't turn ourselves into a beggar nation. Right? We are a first-class nation that is built by our pioneers. How should we regress into that? And PAP have a cheat to say that forward Singapore. I don't think that is a forward. That type of cultural mindset that they are going to teach us. Now, just to clarify, during the COVID, I agree. I totally agree that money vouchers should be given when there is a sudden shock, economic shock, we call it. Right? Because if we don't do that, the whole economy will collapse. That is actually good because when you are managing an economy, it's always like a driver. When the whole bus is going leftwards, you have to turn right. When the whole bus is going to turn right, you have to turn left. So you maintain a balance, right? But it's not what they are doing right now. Right? At one time, they try to turn right all the way to give other people's job, and at the same time, they just give you vouchers. That's not the right thing to do. That's not good governance. Right? So I hope I have clarified our party position. It is all about common sense. Nothing what xenophobic. There's nothing xenophobic of taking care of our own people. If I don't take care of my own people, I should not be contesting. In simple terms. Right? Hope to see you again. Right? Thank you, Derek. Thank you, Jonathan.
Let's wish them 身体健康.
Thank you.
Thank you.